Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news, folks. If there's one thing the NFL teaches us year after year, it's that nothing is static, especially not in Detroit. The Lions, a team that has been on the cusp of greatness for quite some time now, are making some interesting moves that could reshape their future, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. Now, last season was a roller coaster for Detroit. They showed flashes of brilliance, especially offensively, with Goff leading the charge and a talented young core of receivers and running backs. But defensively, well, that's a story of ups and downs, injuries, and moments where they just couldn't hold the line when it mattered most. As we head into this new season, though, the Lions are betting on continuity and a healthier roster, especially on defense, to push them over the edge and into that elusive Super Bowl conversation. Now, let's dig into what's happening with the Detroit Lions defense. It's no secret that last season, the defense struggled at times to close out games, to create turnovers, and to dominate the line of scrimmage. But despite these setbacks, the front office has decided to keep most of the core intact, believing that with better health and maybe a bit more luck, this unit can reach new heights. They're largely sticking with the players who performed well when available, with only a few key changes. One of those changes involves the cornerback position, where they're replacing Carlton Davis, who, by the way, played a significant role last season with DJ Reed. Reed is a solid veteran, known for his speed and ball skills, and he brings a fresh element to Detroit's secondary. But make no mistake, the Lions are not overhauling their defense. They're trusting their players and hoping that a full season of health can make all the difference. In fact, if we look at the roster, it's clear that Detroit's defensive core is still largely in place. Players like Aiden Hutchinson, one of the most promising young pass rushers in the league, and safety Kirby Joseph, who emerged as a playmaker last season, are expected to carry the load. The defensive line, with veterans like Alan McNeil and rookies who are eager to make an impact, remains a focal point. The secondary, of course, is key to their success, and that's where the recent moves and departures come in. Besides Carlton Davis, other veteran stalwarts like Zadarius Smith, who was brought in last season to bolster the pass rush, and linebackers like Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Emmanuel Mosley, and Ben Neiman are all on the move or not returning this year. It's a sign that Detroit is looking to get younger, faster, and more versatile on defense, which could be crucial for their long-term success. But here's where it gets really interesting. One of the notable departures was Kindle Vildor, a cornerback who played a significant role last season during a period of injuries and roster shuffles. Vildor, who signed a one-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the spring, made quite an impression with the Lions, earning himself a shot at a new team after a stint of consistent playing time. Now, this isn't just about losing a player, it's about what the Lions could gain from this. Detroit is clearly trying to streamline their secondary, perhaps prioritizing younger talent or players with different skill sets. And Vildor, who had a sizable role last year, will now face a new challenge in Tampa Bay, a team that's actively trying to upgrade its secondary after a disappointing interception total of just 7 last season. The Bucs, in their effort to rebuild and strengthen their defense, didn't just stop at signing Vildor. They used their early draft picks on promising cornerbacks like Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame in the second round and Jacob Parrish from Kansas State in the third. These are players with potential, and they'll be fighting for playing time in a crowded room that already has Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum as starters. The addition of Tyke Smith at nickel gives Tampa Bay even more options, which means Vildor will need to impress quickly if he's to carve out a spot. It's a tough road ahead for the former Lions cornerback, especially considering that in some roster projections, he's not even listed among the top 6 cornerbacks competing for a place. This situation highlights just how competitive NFL rosters are, especially at the cornerback position where every snap counts. Vildor, who once wore the Honolulu blue and silver, now finds himself in a fight to prove himself all over again. His performances during minicamp and training camp will be critical, and if he doesn't step up, he might find himself looking for another team before the season even starts. That's the harsh reality of the NFL. One moment you're a key player in Detroit, and the next, you're fighting for a roster spot in Tampa Bay or anywhere else. But it's also a reminder of how dynamic and fluid NFL rosters are. Teams are constantly adjusting, trying to find that perfect mix of talent, youth, and experience to give them that competitive edge. Now, looking at the bigger picture, Detroit's approach this offseason seems to be one of strategic patience and confidence in their developmental plans. They're not making flashy splash signings, at least not in the defensive backfield, but rather trusting in their existing talent and addressing specific needs with targeted additions. The Lions' front office and coaching staff believe that with a healthier, more cohesive defense, they can dramatically improve their overall record and, more importantly, contend seriously in the NFC North. Remember last season, the NFC North was a dogfight, with the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers vying fiercely for supremacy, while the Chicago Bears are in the process of rebuilding their roster and trying to find their identity under new management. The Lions see this as a unique window of opportunity, especially with the added motivation of finally breaking through that playoff barrier after years of close calls. And let's talk about the coaching staff for a moment. Head coach Dan Campbell has been a breath of fresh air for Detroit, known for his fiery passion and relentless pursuit of excellence. His emphasis on physicality, mental toughness, and accountability has resonated with players and fans alike. This offseason, Campbell and his coordinators are working tirelessly to implement a more aggressive defensive philosophy. They want their pass rush to be relentless, their secondary to be more disciplined, and their overall team to be more resilient. It's a tall order, but with the talent and the culture they're building, Detroit fans are optimistic that this could be the year they finally turn the page and become a legitimate playoff contender. Looking at the upcoming season, expectations are high but measured. The Lions are considered dark horse contenders in the NFC, thanks to their talented offense, and a defense that's being reshaped into a more formidable unit. Jared Goff, now in his third season with Detroit, has shown that he can lead a balanced attack. His chemistry with receivers like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs is only growing stronger. The offensive line, which was a concern a couple of seasons ago, has improved significantly with some shrewd draft picks and free agent signings, giving Goff the protection he needs to make those deep throws and extend drives. But the real story here is the defense. If Detroit can stay healthy, get some key players to perform at their best, and perhaps generate more turnovers, they could be a team nobody wants to face in the playoffs. The NFC is stacked, no doubt about it, with teams like San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas all vying for supremacy, but Detroit's combination of talent, coaching, and a chip on their shoulder could make them a dark horse that surprises everyone. Remember, the Lions haven't won a Super Bowl since 1957, and for decades, they've been haunted by the lovable loser image. But this new era might finally be the one where they break that curse and establish themselves as true contenders. Now, this whole scenario is also about the division. The NFC North has traditionally been a tough, gritty division, with teams that pride themselves on physicality and resilience. Green Bay, under a new quarterback, is trying to find its footing again, while Minnesota is trying to replicate their surprise success from last year. Chicago, on the other hand, is rebuilding, but with a lot of draft capital and young talent, they can't be underestimated. The Lions, by making these strategic moves on defense and fostering a culture of toughness, are positioning themselves to not just compete but dominate this division in the near future. A division title, playoff positioning, and maybe even a deep run in the postseason, all of this is within reach if everything clicks. So what does this mean for you, the Detroit Lions faithful? It's an exciting time. The team is on the cusp of something big, and all the signs point to a season where they could finally put it all together. The defense, which has been a point of concern for years, is being reshaped with a mix of experienced veterans and promising young players. The offense is already elite in many ways, but with improvements on the defensive side, Detroit could become a balanced powerhouse. The coaching staff's focus on discipline and aggression could be the missing piece that finally pushes them into serious Super Bowl contention. And remember, the NFL is unpredictable. Injuries, unexpected breakout players, game-changing plays, All of these factors can swing the season in unexpected directions. But one thing is for sure, the Detroit Lions are no longer just a team to watch, they're a team to fear. The NFC North is about to get even more competitive, and Detroit is positioning itself to be at the forefront of that fight. The fans have waited long enough, and this season might be the one where everything comes together. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep believing because the Detroit Lions are on the rise, and the best is yet to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now, what's the big reveal, you ask? Well, it's all about the potential of this team, the strategic moves they've made, and how they're positioning themselves not just to compete, but to dominate. The Lions are betting on their young core, on a coaching staff that's got a clear vision, and on a fan base that's more passionate than ever. With the defensive moves they've made, the emphasis on health, and the internal growth of their stars, Detroit could very well surprise everyone and make that deep playoff run we've been waiting for. It's a season of hope, of rebuilding, and of finally turning the page on decades of near misses. And for every Lions fan out there, this is what we've been waiting for, a team that believes in itself, that's willing to do what it takes, and that's ready to take that leap into the big time. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. Do you think this team has what it takes to finally break through and make a real Super Bowl push? Are you excited about the defense's future, or do you think they need more changes? Whatever your thoughts are, we want to hear them because this is a community, a family of passionate Lions supporters who love their team through thick and thin. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and all the latest Detroit Lions news, so stay tuned and keep that Lions spirit alive. We're in this together, and the best is yet to come.